195cm、94 kg、Alistair Overeem!
The demolition man, Alistair Overeem, is 26, 6'5", 208 pounds, 7 and 5 in pride fighting.
180cm、92.9 kg、
Ricardo, the Brazilian Tiger Arona, is 28, 5'9", 203 pounds, 7 and 3 in pride fighting championships.
This was a scheduled fight to be at 205 pounds, and Overeem came in at 208, 3 pounds over the weight limit. They came to agreement and decided to continue the fight anyway, even though Overeem was slightly overweight.
And that was interesting, the way when you were saying that, we saw them touch gloves already. They're a gentleman's agreement even in the ring, and nice to see that they have agreed to come to this understanding, Mr. Trick. Because everyone is really looking forward to this fight. This could definitely have implications on the Pride World middleweight title scene. Ricardo Arona, the first man to beat Vanderlei Silva in over 5 years in the middleweight tournament last year, and already sending a message to Overeem with some snapping leg kicks.
You know, Overeem's from that old style of, you know, from Golden Globe League kickboxing, and so he's definitely not going to be rattled by those, but they got to take their toll. I don't care what anybody says.
We mentioned during the opening, Alistair Overeem, one of the more active fighters on the scene, already in this his 6th fight of the year, and he's had to deal with some injuries and some issues. Nice knee there by Overeem, and he catches Arona, and Arona quickly goes to the clinch smartly.
Yeah, you have to. There's no way. Arona's not going to beat Overeem's stand-up game. He has to punch his way inside and get Arona to the ground, or get Overeem to the ground, excuse me.
Ricardo Arona, one of the world's best grapplers, a 2-time Abu Dhabi champion. He definitely loves to bring the fight to the canvas and control, and there, Overeem, wow, was hit with that low kick.
When Arona fought Vanderlei, we saw the same thing. He kicked that front leg out and it just fell down. He must be doing something. There's some technique that he's using that I'm not sure of that's knocking guys down with just that front leg kick.
Definitely not the place Alistair Overeem wants to be with Ricardo Arona, who his usual game plan is to control the entire fight on the ground. Not always flashy, but of course it's proven to be a winning recipe. And he is coming off back-to-back losses for the first time in his career. You know that Arona was chomping at the bit to get back into the Pride Fighting Championships. And taking on Alistair Overeem here with 1 minute and 45 seconds gone in round 1. Nice pass there by Arona.
Wow, classic guard pass. That was amazing. He really just kept crowding until he got past his feet, past his knees, and all the way past his hips. You know, Mark, we really are pretty lucky. I get to spend a lot of time training with some guys. I got to train some time yesterday with Matt Hume on some guard pass drills, and really showed me some new stuff. And I understand how Arona and why he passes the way he does, and what he does with it. So it's a lot better. He's really keeping his hips in really tight as he makes it to the side position. And then even notice once he gets here, it's very difficult to get out. He never lets somebody out.
Nice knee from Arona from side control, and now just pinning Overeem in the corner. Again, Arona very methodical, doesn't waste any motion. Everything he does is with a purpose, and he takes his time working the art of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Now Overeem gives up his back.
He's got a good position here. If he wants to, he can start looking for that neck. Overeem has a hold of his hands. That's going to counter the choke.
You can see Arona trying to put the left leg, trying to hook Overeem able to thwart that attempt.
Arona's in a good position to start digging for the neck. I'm not really sure why he's sitting that way.
And it's the good corner to be in, if there's such a thing in this position, because Alistair Overeem is in the Golden Glory corner where his coaches, his seconds, Lucien Carban and Martin de Jong, are shouting out instructions in Dutch. And that's another factor, the international game of pride fighting, where they can speak their own language and not let Arona know what they're saying.
You know, Overeem's doing a great job in keeping position here, tying up his hands underneath so he really can't hit him with anything.
Dropping the hammer fist.
Whoa, that's doing damage for sure. Finally getting his leg in. He's doing a much better job now. We're going to see how good Overeem has been working on his jiu-jitsu. To get out of this position with a guy like Arona on top is going to be very difficult.
Now he's trying to stretch out Overeem as he has one hook in. Maybe trying to even go for a body triangle. Yes, that's exactly what he's doing here. And this is definitely a place where Alistair Overeem does not want to be against the likes of Ricardo Arona. 2001.
Oh, that's it. That's it. He tapped out. That was weird. Why did he tap out? Looks like he got a little eye damage. I'm not sure what happened, but that was a really strange position.
Ricardo Arona ends his longest losing streak in his career at 2 with the victory over Alistair Overeem. And Trig, like you say, obviously something happened.
That was a weird spot. He was defending, everything was fine.
Forced Overeem to tap out, and unfortunately for Alistair Overeem, all year long he had the sinus problems, he had the neck problem in his last fight, and now suffering another injury here tonight.
I actually got a little word from one of my buddies sitting ringside. He told me what happened is that body triangle was on so tight, it was squeezing him. He lost his position, lost his air, and he couldn't move in any position from that spot, so he took the quickest way out of it by tapping out once he got hit.
And we've seen the body triangle submission in the past, very hard to secure and tap someone out from that vantage point, but again, you're talking to one of the best ground technicians in the sport. Ricardo Arona vanquishes Alistair Overeem here tonight at the Saitama Super Arena. But no, it doesn't. I think there's something wrong with his leg. Now that I look at Alistair Overeem, I don't think it was a case of having his wind knocked out. His leg is in, they're icing his side of his kneecap, and I believe that he suffered a leg injury, Trig.
But that wouldn't make him tap out from that position on his hands and knees.
Well,
that's what knocked him down for sure.
It was
earlier.
a weird tap out, though.
It was very weird. I mean, it's all speculation.
Yeah, of course, unless you're right in there. Well, Ricardo Arona definitely with his sights set, I'm sure, on another shot at the Pride World Middleweight Championship. After all, he was the man who defeated Vanderlei Silva last year in the middleweight tournament, but then Shogun, Silva's teammate,